teams remain in our tournament, and this next one is the two teams that have looked just a cut above the rest. Which one is going to get to that grand final first? We're going to find out in just a few seconds. It's Secret versus Vici. My name's Rich. I'm going to be your host, and I'm joined by Kyle, Fogged, and Grant. Let's actually talk about just how stupidly good these teams have looked. I mean, Cheever, before he came on, we were actually talking about this matchup. She started talking about last year. 5 majors, 4 of them went to these two teams.
Crazy.
Now this year already looking so fantastic. I mean, Kyle, I feel like it's almost an oversight or maybe a little bit of a not going far enough saying that they look better than the other teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's until somebody else proves they belong, then these two are in a tier by themselves. Not just because of the results, but because of the consistency. As you said, like last year, 4 out of 5. These guys, in their own unique way, have sort of solved Dota. And if you look at these teams, you can sort of see how each squad that's just a little bit worse than them follows one of these two patterns of play.
Yeah, I like how you said that, though, that it's very much a different style, even though they're in that tier that we're kind of saying is above the other teams. When we were talking to Arteezy yesterday, he was kind of the one that, and of course, Arteezy still in the tournament. We're going to see him later in the final series of the day. But when he talked about Secret and Vici, he says, okay, you got one team in Vici that it's just all about how they're playing as a team. And
he said the best ever. This is the best team composition he's ever seen, which is very high praise.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible praise, and then you go over on Secret, and his praise was just as high, just in a different way. So we have 2 very unique styles here.
I think it's really interesting, too, because it's not just the players. I think the players are amazing, of course. These guys have some amazing team fighting, amazing everything, lanes, individual skill, etc. But the coaches. You cannot talk about these two teams and not mention the coaches. They have Heen on the side of Secret, and then ROTK on the side of Vici. ROTK has pretty much brought this team up over and over again, bringing them to things that you wouldn't expect them to. It's actually just remarkable to see that and I feel like we don't really get to talk too much about the coaches a lot of the time.
No, I agree. And with ROTK, as you said, they were a pretty bad team before he started coaching, and it was almost like a farmish team what they were getting, and now they won 2 majors last year. Arteezy said he thinks Vici Gaming is much better than Secret as well, so I don't know. These teams just feel so far above, as you say.
I think that, you take Arteezy's opinion there and then you hear somebody else's opinion, it'll be different. That's why this matchup is so exciting.
Exactly.
I think it's very hard to call, especially when you do have, throughout a tournament, anytime that you have a tournament, you're going to look at the matchups and you try to compare teams based off of the results that they have in one team to the rest of the field of play, and it's very hard to do. And that's why we have geniuses like you guys here who can try to look through that information and actually break it down. But it's not easy to do, especially when we have 2 stylistic teams. When they go head-to-head, what are you expecting here, Grant?
I mean, I still think I said Secret was the best since the beginning. I'm getting a little nervous, but I still just feel their individual play and stuff like that. You see how Zai, we saw you watched Chaos, and DM gets thrown to the Wolves, absolutely just loses his stuff. Zai gets thrown in the same situation, but he always manages to come back. And I'm just looking at that can one of these teams come from behind, or is it just going to be like a lane steamroll?
I think Secret's going to have an edge just in the wealth of strategies they have available. They have some of the most versatile cores, Matumba Man. We've seen, as an example, Lone Druid being banned out against Liquid. I don't think we've seen Secret play it yet, but I know that they can. They'll play a Timbersaw on any one of their 3 cores. Nisha looks like, at the very least, one of the best 3 players in the world, and he just swapped to mid.
At this tournament, he definitely has been the best player, I think.
Yeah, they haven't even been challenged yet. That's the thing. These teams are already matched up in the group stage. Secret won. Unless Vici has something special prepared, I think Secret win this again, because you cannot just be formulaic against Puppey. He loves that. Please, pick what you did earlier. Exactly. I'll have something prepared.
Yeah, it is funny, though. You watch both of these teams throughout the tournament, and every time after you watch them played, you're like, oh, Secret or Vici, depending on who you're watching, they're winning the entire tournament. But Puppey, actually, you talk about Puppey, he just made eye contact with me, and he's pretty much demanding that we play the video that he recorded. And you know what? I'm going to listen to Puppey here. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
I don't think we were that good when we were actually coming to this tournament. But after a few almost losses, I think we started catching up to how to actually play the patch and how to play right now overall. So right now we're just gaining power. Drafting has always been the most important part of the game. Draft indicates exactly what everybody knows what's going on in the game. It doesn't really matter if your draft is even better than the enemy teams. It just matters like if your strategy is more flexible or like they know exactly what to do on the map, and it's like the timings are better. So it's very hard to decide exactly whose draft is better or whatnot. But a lot of the times the draft can just clean up the whole match, and there's no point even watching after draft.
And we talk about those different styles, those different takes. When we do look at the draft, what type of heroes are we instantly thinking of to enable that, Fog? First, we'll start with the side of Secret.
I feel like for Secret, it's a lot more, I wouldn't say like random, but I feel like they have just so many different options because I don't think they're afraid to try new heroes. I don't think they're afraid to just look like, well, on paper, this hero is good versus, nobody's really played it much, but you know what? Let's just do it and pull it out. Like the Monkey King that they've been experimenting, that they've been making work in a lot of different one of their drafts. Yeah, I think they just have so much different versatility. So I'm not sure, because I think they could even bust out heroes that they haven't shown in this tournament before, like the Chen, things like that. Like if it does get through to them, they just have such a big plethora of heroes.
Yep. And I really think that like these two teams, part of why they're so consistent is because they're so professional. And I don't think that there's necessarily a wrong way to have like a team mentality, right? But if you look at squads like Liquid, like Alliance, even like Na'Vi, it's a lot more jovial. Whereas these squads, like I've seen ROTK and I've seen Puppey light up their teams after a win. They are here to win the tournament. And that's how they start.
It's such an important thing, right? If you're just completely results-oriented, you get yourself in a situation where all of a sudden you base everything off of one matchup, and it's just not the right thing to do. But let's take a deeper dive on the side of Vici. Let's top in really quick with DY.
就有一些英雄就是他们用的比较好，然后就从这几个英雄出发，找一下应对方法，然后能解决这些英雄的话。 就能打赢他们。
All right, so we get to hop in Vici there very quickly. Fog, what are you thinking about this team? You obviously talked a little bit about Secret and what you expected from them. What are you expecting from Vici?
Man, Vici, these guys just have powerhouse cores. That's the way I look at it. And with their new pickup, of PYW, but that man right there that we just saw on the screen, Ori, has been, I think for the past, 2 years now, he seems to be like the best mid out of China, just uncontested. Like him and Somnus, of course, duking it out quite a bit, but Somnus he's been struggling a little bit this last year.
He's been on vacation.
Yeah, that is.
He's not even in the conversation anymore. You got to play Dota to be involved.
Yeah,
the thing I love about Ori is I think how versatile he is at just being like, hey, there can be a game where it's like, all right, Ori, you're playing the win condition. You're going to be like the Storm Spirit that's just going to be that hero that has to win the game. Or you know what? You're going to be a Kunkka playmaker that runs around the map. He just has so many different things and so many different styles that he can bring to the team.
And the difference, I think, when I look at Secret is that it's actually their 3-4 positions, specifically Yapzor and Zai, that have that change of all. Like Zai is straight up a chameleon on the off lane. He'll play the initiator. He'll play a Darkseer that turns into a 4. He'll just do whatever they hand him.
Yeah, I would say my favorite thing about this match is whenever you talk about fives, right? You talk about their drafting, but I would honestly say Puppey and DY might be the two best like playing fives in game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because when you talk about, you're like, oh, their strategy, their draft, but you don't really like look at their individual play. And these guys, their positioning and their spell casting is probably the top 2 in the world, honestly.
That's a really good point. And I think that as if these neutral items stay in the game, we're going to see 5 positions. That's where the S-tier teams will distance themselves from the chaff, because there are some 5s that just simply aren't at the same skill level that are on top teams in comparison to someone like Puppey or DY.
A lot of very exciting stuff in this matchup. Ultimately, I think my favorite thing is you look at Secret and Vici, and they've been able to break all of the competition thus far. But now it's our turn on the panel to break you. We'll be right back after this.
Rick Gaming Esports, professional esports ounce maker.
squads that were able to dominate the major, able to take 4 of them, each of them getting 2, and now we get to welcome to the stage 2 of the most impressive teams that we've seen in a very long time. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Secret and Vici. These teams so far in this tournament have proved that they need absolutely no introduction. Both approaching the game with very different styles, but both giving very similar results, and those results are absolute victory. And now only one of them will be able to get that first slot in the grand final, and we're gonna try to predict who it's going to be before we do jump into their draft. And already, I'm very excited. I think one of the most interesting things, though, we obviously had to hop to the break, get the teams ready, get them up on the stage, but before we went to break, Kyle, I think what you're talking about is just one of the most interesting things when we look at these squads overall and we start stacking them up against the rest of the company.
Yeah, I think part of that just starts with the drafting, right? We saw a Liquid Alliance series that was relatively simplistic to break down, right? Like Liquid straight up copied a draft from from yesterday to pull out in game 3.
Yeah.
In this series, you've got a bunch of more, complex heroes, right? Underlord, Elder Titan, that are going to be in the back of these teams' minds. I think the pool itself is going to be much more diverse, and we're not going to see a lot of repeats. I can't even predict the openers, let alone how these drafts will finish.
Now, Kyle, we've been seeing even some of the crowd. We have Yapzor. Is there any chance of a techies?
I hope not.
No.
Okay.
That's a loaded question.
I said before this tournament, no techies, no way.
Okay.
I don't
There's
think
no
so.
chance. Not even one.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Just checking.
I mean, hey, anything can happen.
You never know.
Here in the arena. Also, if you are in the arena in just a little while at 3 p.m., I believe, I'm really bad with the AM, PM thing, you can actually go, Nigma is doing a signing, I believe, right over there. I'm pointing to you guys who are in the arena because you guys will know it. Ooh, yeah, very, very nice. I'll be there. I'll be taking selfies with everybody. Definitely enjoy that, but I also enjoy getting into this series because this is one that we've kind of expected for a very long time. I think we are somewhat maybe expecting to see it again tomorrow. I think there's a pretty valid path, a pretty valid timeline where we might get to see it again. I don't want to put you guys on the spot right now and ask predictions, but I feel like I have to.
Do it.
You started to talk about yours, Grant, before we did get up to the draft. We're going to start with you and we'll move down the line.
I mean, since the beginning, I've liked Secret. In the group stage, they looked a little better. I actually think Vici has played better here, but I think Secret will play up to their competition. You hear a lot of them talking about playing down their competition. I think Puppey is just going to elevate super high, and I would say Secret 2-1, but I think it's going to be 3 either way.
Oh, man, same with, I'm kind of on the same board. I had Secret coming in, and then group stages happened, and I was even more on Secrets. But then I saw these displays by Vici yesterday, and I've just been seeing the way they've been drafting, and I think RTK's got something that he understands about this patch. I actually have to lean for Vici 2-1.
I disagree. I would still go Secret. I think that Vici's win over EG was deceptive because EG effectively used the strategy feign death, and unfortunately it was successful and Vici dumpstered them. I don't expect Secret to just lie down and die, nor do I think that they'll play as passive. If you want to play against Vici, you've got to match their tempo in the mid game, and I think they'll do that. However, it'll really just come down to the drafting. I agreed with Puppey. Drafting is and forever will be the most critical part of our game.
Yes.
And this is where it all starts.
Yeah, and I will say, as we do start to get into this one of the things that we heard from Vici very early on in several of their interviews, it wasn't just one, we got to talk to a bunch of the members of the team, and consistently, you hear the idea that they didn't even feel like they were playing their best. They talked about their performance not being something that they were happy with early on, even when they are, as Kyle used, the word dumpstering their competition, because it did look like they were simply taking out the trash in quite a few of their games and quite a few of their series. But now the question is, how will Vici deal with Secret? Let's take a look at some of these early bans.
Brood.
Brood opening ban.
Brood opening ban. We obviously know, when was that? I would say that was actually the old Liquid. They were first picking a lot on their team, and I know Zai actually got it first pick for him, but not in a long time.
This, to me, though, is like the next evolution of opening bans, where instead of just targeting like meta heroes that get first two'd, you take away things that you don't want the enemy to have in their draft at all, and you just remove them from the composition.
And it makes them rethink, like, at the very beginning. I like that,
Who cares? Like, yeah, sure, we talk a lot about like Tree and Wisp and Gyro and A, but if all of these heroes are in the pool, then it's a lot more difficult to game plan properly. It's easier knowing, okay, they can't brood us. You don't, like, this is just such an annoyance in the back of your mind. It's nice to get it out of the way from jump.
I think for me, this always just allows you to open up your mid pool. I think sometimes you're a little bit afraid, and you don't know what hero you want to pick some of the times, but then if Brood's just out always, you can always just pick, you know, you can pick your Viper's mid, you can pick your Puck, your Invoker. I mean, it's not going to be like an Invoker, but you know what I mean. Like, you can open up with these heroes that do just get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, also, Fog, I feel like when you look at two teams like this, banning out some of the things that are very in meta almost seems needless. It seems like they have already figured out so many of the solutions and they're able to execute upon it. So,
and it'll be cool to see which direction these teams go, because there's two different like theories on how to open. One is to just like kind of take your win condition, put it out there, like, you know, first two Drows, the first two Wisp Drow. Exactly. Or you pick something that's more versatile, you want to hide it so that you have that versatility later in the draft. I think that's the direction both these teams will lean because their pools are so large. I love the Doom first pick from Vici. They're one of the few teams that's adept at playing it on multiple roles. They like it as the 3, they like it as the 4. I'm sure if they needed to, Paparazzi could play it as well.
They have played it on the 5, I believe, in the qualifiers. I'm not sure at this tournament, but at the qualifiers they did.
Secret deny the Lich.
Yep. Just, I mean, it's a Lich. Super good lane secure. We see what this hero does. He just makes your draft a lot stronger versus all that physical damage. He hits so many boxes now because he also defends towers because the shield.
Dude, it's so much damage as well. Like, let's just give so much for your draft. You're already offering at level 6 a potential 3,000 magical damage.
I love that
ultimate.
He has an instant disable now, which is actually like it's massive. Like there's so many times where just like, oh, I'm getting up. Lich has a disable now for some reason. You know, it's like.
And we just saw Fada do it. Puppey's the same. These old school players that have been around for so long, you love having tools to impact the game offensively and defensively. It's just such a chill hero to play as a 5. No pun intended.
I will say, as a first pick, I thought Doom, if you weren't first pick, it was going to get banned because, as we said, it's the one hero. You may lose your lane, but it is super easy to come back from. And for Zai as well as Yang, I actually am really surprised it went through.
Now we have a question like Vici. You probably just take your 5 position here, or perhaps that's the Doom. There's a lot of heroes in this spot. You could maybe see an Oracle come out. A Silencer was really nice against the Shaker. Or you just go Rubik, right? You're playing against 2 heroes that have great steals offered.
Or that hero. That's a pretty good hero in the lane.
And we forgot about that one. Liquid just first picked it 3 games in a row. There's a reason for it. Tons of AoE lockdown. Hiding in trees. You have 5 abilities.
These 2 teams really haven't played that much. That's why it kind of like slipped our mind, right? We're like still like in the last game, and now, you know. But it's an overall good hero, and I'm sure these guys go and watch the replays of the other teams, and they're like, holy shit, it can like just straight up 2v1 someone. It just beats BKBs.
And I love, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to mention, is that these 2 heroes, BKB piercers. We look at the side of Team Secret, they're not BKB piercing already off the bat. So I'm liking that opening from Vici a lot. We literally just saw these 2 heroes. I mean, the Treant was on Liquid side, but the Doom is just, this hero just gives you so much strike.
You've got to be thinking now, if I'm Vici, about a potential aggressive tri-lane from Secret. It's, I think, one of the most effective ways to utilize Shaker, especially if you have a Lich support. Like, the strongest 5, you can now potentially just go into the off lane. Yaps are able to play mid and bottom, threatening 2 lanes. It's very dangerous.
Sorry, you guys don't get to see all the signs.
I like that one,
There was a sign that said Zai. Why is he so kawaii?
I honestly don't know.
No, Monkey King for Secret, because I think they might be thinking about it, because obviously you do like getting BKBs, but if you get your ulti off, then get doomed or then get rooted, you don't feel that bad about it. And it's hard for me to think of another like core like that. I guess Razor, stuff like that, but
I'd like to see them, I actually think Night Stalker is a possibility here as a counter pick to the Treant. No one really likes it. Secret did grab it once, but it's just something that can find the tree.
Rich can't control himself right now.
I know. I got to say, you guys have all been incredible out there. Thank you guys very much. These signs are fantastic. The draft is also fantastic, though. So we're doing our jobs again here. Kyle, what else are you looking for here?
I could see an Underlord come out early. Pangolier, perhaps. I think you're looking at a Zai hero, or you're just taking a more versatile core like the Monkey King as an example, where you're not giving away its lane.
You know what hero super fell off in the last 2 days? PL. Just completely been abandoned.
Gone.
Like, absolutely gone. Like, Slark's still getting first phased, even second phase. PL's just gone. And, I mean, you're talking about the Underlord, and
But
I think
so is
counters.
Team Nigma, though. So they kind of just took PL with them. They played it every single game.
Yep. And people are like, oh, we don't want to take that route. We'll stay in the tournament.
Until it stopped working, it was working very well, right? I think they went on a pretty long streak from the minor all the way to the major, where they had a 100% win rate with that hero and quite a few others. But why do you think PL fell off besides that? I mean, obviously they were one of the teams that was really playing it a lot and trying to jam it in pretty much every single lineup, but it looked pretty darn good. Do you think that it really is like, you mentioned there's one hero like on our mind that kind of seemed to be the solution to it?
I think there's a couple solutions to it, and you never, like, PL is very weak in the laning phase still. If you do just go at it, and we've seen most of these games have been decided in the laning phase, in at least today and yesterday.
Yeah, and Leshrac came back. People remember
that as well, and that's in first phase. Yeah,
people learn better heroes just to counter. I think people are like, oh yeah, Earthshaker's amazing versus PL. Underlord's really good versus PL. So
I told you.
Great call.
I think it was just, it really is, right? You get your ulti up, you don't feel bad. That's that's it.
It's
and
also really good with Earthshaker as well. Like, the thing about Shaker, it's one of the few like true roaming 4s that are often picked, and the key is to have kill potential in at least 2 lanes.
I mean, I love this pick too. I mean, Team Secret throughout the entirety of the tournament, they've looked absolutely bananas with Monkey King 5.
Yeah, and it's really flexible as well. I see what you did there, Rich.
I really like a Razor for Vici now, though. I think you see the Monkey King, you don't feel too bad picking it, even though you have 2 more picks left. And it just counters the Monkey King, and it's not that bad versus the Earthshaker.
I'm really concerned, though, about a Viper or any other kind of break mechanic in this spot. Drow is also kind of spooky. You don't really have too much reach on the side of Secret, and you also have potential now for a 4th pick Viper. You already have all this AoE lockdown and BKB pierces, which is traditionally how you beat Drow. You get on top of her, pop BKB.
But I mean,
Monkey King
sorry, if I'm a scrub, doesn't Monkey King get on top of Drow, or can she, or do you not want to?
Monkey King can, but I think like until you have BKB, it's a little bit scary because you jump down, you have to pretty much boundless and ult right away. Otherwise, you're gonna get dusted back, and you're probably gonna get killed. But it's still a bit intriguing. I know Vici really does like the hero, though.
They were in the group stage, they were the team that was like mostly first picking that Venge Drow, and Venge is gone, but they love the Drow.
I will say, I don't know if I like the matchups too much, but Secret love Underlord against Drow. We also saw Beast Coast do this, where you pick up a Crimson Guard and an Underlord, and all of a sudden, like, the Drow damage just disappears. It's just a pretty weird game for the hero, and that's
the response.
The real response, right? That's the traditional Drow counter. Although I don't know if it's as effective now that Drow has the arrow launching.
And versus a tree, honestly, I don't know. There's a lot of answers to Arc Ward now.
I agree, yeah. And I also like, this is like what Secret almost identically drafted the other day, right?
Yeah. And
they had the Arc Ward and they had the Monkey King, but now I think you just told your lanes, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you know Arc Warden's mid, and you know Monkey King's more than likely going to be safe unless they throw a wrench into the works.
With Kunkka banned, do you just replace it for Ori and just grab him something like a DK here? Because you still want him on that like initiating hero. I don't like something like a Viper because you're just playing into the Arc Warden's hands. You want something that gets on top.
Pick a melee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you get some type of melee.
You think you have, like, even with the Monkey King there, like in lane swapping, you just think that Arc Warden's going to be middle, so you're okay with it?
You could also perhaps Quap under the circumstances. You don't have too much catch on the other enemy side, but
I think they got a little too much catch.
I want some beef.
You want some beef. Why not just take the Centaur then for Yang in the off lane?
I like the Centaur quite a bit.
And then you move the Doom to a support or something.
Yeah, I think Doom support does make sense here.
I think
I really feel like a 3-position Doom just rushing armor items, or even just like Blink BKB, that sounds really good in this game. Because if you can just initiate on Arc Ward and Doom the MK.
Team fight control. Very good versus... Is it?
I think that's an Ori.
I thought it was good versus Monkey King, but...
That's an Ori puck, right?
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking that's for the lane, and that's now they can actually get on top of these heroes. They can look for the Monkey King as well, hunting with him. You get orb vision as well in the trees, all that kind of stuff. It's nice, and this also is what allows the Drow Ranger to play a little bit safer because you have this puck kind of covering your back. Huh.
I didn't see it coming, but I like it now that I look at it. Like you said, right? It's these two teams. It's hard to call.
It's like Quap, but better, right? Because Quap would suffer from a lack of survivability. Puck kind of has that all built in, and it provides the same. It's actually more damage because you get the damage, talent, and phase shift attack at a point. He'll probably build a Deso, as I've seen Ori do in the past.
Most of them, yeah.
And it's so much damage output. You also... Again, you don't want to pick a hero mid that can get killed, right? Because the Shaker rotations are a big threat, whether it's Arc Warden or Monkey King mid. Puck has no real fear of a rotation from Yap.
I really do like that Centaur.
I like it for both teams. You're against the Duke.
Really good.
And you have Yang. I would say Yang is the best Centaur in the world, probably of all time. I don't know.
Yeah, Yang definitely. Yeah, I would agree. I think JT had a beastly performance yesterday, but yeah, Yang plays it super well. I think it just fits the lineup so well because you're versus Monkey King, you stampede, you can run out, or you can run in to start the fight. Same thing on the opposing side where you get on top of the Drow Ranger.
It's also just cool watching. I feel like the drafting is... It's similar to like Liquid Alliance, and like you sort of see the picks coming, but it's not nearly as cut and dry.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot more room for these teams to innovate. Do you find it weird that Zai's heroes left for last?
I do, because you normally do sacrifice. I mean, you don't want to be sacrificing your overall last hero.
Unless they switch, who's playing what, which I mean,
the Zai Arc Warden, oh my god.
Zai Earthshaker, I think you could still, I don't think it's likely, but I think
then you'd be last picking at support. But yeah, last picking a Yaps or hero definitely sounds a lot more reasonable.
I love a Centaur pick here. As you said, just get on top of this Arc Warden, the Lich, like all of these secret heroes, they actually have nothing to frontline for them. They're dependent on getting initiations on their terms. If you take that away from them as Vici, you can just run them over.
Oh,
that's actually a really good point. Secret's frontline is very weak.
Vici's just incredibly powerful, just looking at their opening too.
And they get the
beef boy.
So that's the tanky boy. That's the one to kind of break combos too. Earthshaker, you know, you get a good combo, you just ult, get able to shield and protect people. Ways to bail your drow in case the Monkey King does get on top of you too. And we have seen that Aghanims build become pretty popular on the Abaddon too. I feel like in the mid game, it could be pretty strong.
It's a very greedy setup from Vici though. Ori's puck is effectively all of their playmaking throughout the early game. They'll certainly scale. Their Roche taking is very quick. Just a question, how does Secret address this?
How does Abba versus Monkey King like go in lane? Because right, you obviously get the stacks up, but you get the silence and slow with the support. Is it pretty like it just depends?
Especially with the Lich.
lane?
Like Lich is so good against the Abaddon because you shield
okay.
off the initial tick of the shield and then it's just reapplied.
Gotcha.
Monkey King, I'm sure goes Oov here. You just smack him out of the lane. Yeah, because it's most certainly a monkey safe. You want him against these melee heroes.
But we did mention the possibility of that aggro tri-lane,
Correct,
right?
yeah, for sure.
So I do think that your Doom, you get that Ice Ogre, you get the Alpha Wolf, either one of them, your tri-lane just becomes infinitely stronger.
If there's anything to learn from the earlier series regarding Doom, it's that Doom and tri-lanes with ice armor is broken.
Yeah, it just
like,
breaks
especially with a
It's
tree. Like
straight up
you cannot beat these heroes when they're all walking around with +4 armor each, but specifically like the 30% move slow. Like that's absurd.
And attack slow. Like it actually is just multiple good things.
Especially against Monkey King. We saw that early in the tournament. Can't remember the match. Now it's just what does Secret go for here? Do you grab something to pick up the pace? You'd love a hero that picks aura items, but Underlord seems real underwhelming in this spot. Same with the Darkseer, although I feel like that could be a possibility just for the big combo potential.
Whoa!
Ooh, that's a hero. That's what, as you said, right? Like
Okay.
we've seen this hero a bit, but we've really only seen Ice play it.
But this is Initiator, this is the front line, which they were lacking. I feel like Earthshaker, whenever you see this hero, you're like, you don't want him to be the Initiator. Same kind of thing for Monkey King. Clockwork allows you and provides you that, and this is a way to get on top of Drow Ranger. Drow can gust you out, though.
So much pressure, though, on Yapzor and Zai to make plays.
Yes.
Because if you look at this Vici lineup, in an even game, in a 5-on-5 fight, they just represent so much more damage. Secret have to just outplay them throughout the game to win this.
All right, well, throughout the entirety of this tournament, these two teams have been put into a tier of their very own, but nobody cares about that real estate. It's time to figure out who the best of these two squads really is.
The best of the best for our upper bracket final. Vici Gaming versus Team Secret, and I don't think either one of us is too surprised to see these teams here. One side we got Vici Gaming, whose teamwork has been impeccable, and then Secret, individual skill and drafting. That can take you a long way. Do you have a favorite here, Sendrin?
I think Secret also has teamwork. I just want to get that out there. I don't think it's just 5 individuals pressing some buttons, you know, that doesn't really get you very far in Dota nowadays.
Would you say Vici Gaming also has individual skills?
I think so.
They're pretty good at Dota, yeah?
Yeah, most of them. 5 of them. ROTK probably fallen off a little bit on his later days. yeah. I mean, these are some of the best players in the world, just on every position, really, in both of these teams. And a lot today is going to come down to strategy, as it always does. But I would say, so far in this tournament, the most impressive team for me draft-wise has probably been Secret overall. They've managed to find this really nice balance in their strategy between having strong lanes, team fight, initiation, and a way of killing Roshan. And this draft, to me, is no different, really. It feels like things are just solved, right, for them as far as how they want to play. Now, the question is if this Vici lineup can bring it to them.
It definitely feels like they have identified the win condition. It's Drow Ranger lineup, so we're going to counter that with the Arc Warden.
Yep.
We've got a nice initiating tool, which is what the panel said was missing with that last pick Clockwork. Good team fight all around, while Vici Gaming, for me anyway, it looks like they're going to have to hit that mid game really hard. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. The Vici Gaming lineup really peaks when Drow is fully online. And I'm not talking 6 slots, I'm talking, you know, when she has that first real damage item, whether it's a butterfly or something like that, you have the protection of Treant, you have the protection of Abaddon, and you have a lineup that naturally wants to group up and use these teamfight abilities and have auras, I'm assuming, on either Doom or Abaddon as well. Maybe both even could buy auras. I think both Crimson Guard and Pipe look nice against the Secret strat, so we'll see if they split it evenly between PYW and Yang, or if they do stack them on both on the same hero.
Let's see our mid matchup, Ori. He has really impressed me this tournament, man. He's been impressing me for the last 2 years as a player who just seems to get better every year and has been one of the top performing mid laners. See how he does against Nisha's Arc Warden. Bottom lane, we're already going to have a first blood, though. Eurus does manage to pick it up on Puppey as the aggro Dro tri-lane catches Secret off guards.
That is a very nasty lane. You have 2 big boys in front, and you have the Drow with the Frost Arrows in the back. Might even see Drow go for, I'm guessing, the 2-0-1 build, so you just have that more in the way of the slow, so Doom can stay on top of targets. And yeah, I'm curious to see what Secret are going to do to solve this. We're doing a little bit of courier snipe here from Yapsor onto Yang's courier, as he has now been joined by Puppey in the top lane, so it will be a 3v1 there as they've swapped, or rather they've placed Zai alone down here. He's just chilling, getting hit. Looked like he was AFK, I promise you it's on purpose.
Trying to pull that creep equilibrium back as much as possible. And they do get the matchup they wanted, right? They on the Secret side, they want that Monkey King versus the Abaddon.
Yeah.
Certainly not against the Drow Ranger.
And if you do have a hero in a 1v3, Clockwork, one of the better ones, the hero does a lot with levels and doesn't necessarily need many items to perform his job in this game. That's also why it's a great pick for Zai with this team often. Oh, Ori, he might have to jaunt here. Oh,
he's going to try and Waning Rift to the other side of that fissure, and that's good enough. He jumped to his orb. He'd be in no man's land for quite some time. They're going to try and block out that double damage rune. He dodges the Spark Wraith and does manage to pick up the DD. Yapsor harasses him a bit, but against that extra physical damage, he'll back away.
Who harasses who?
That certainly
it's like 50 damage for 300. Not exactly.
Yeah.
That's not my idea of harassment. You know, it's usually the person getting harassed is the one who gets the worst trade.
Yeah, it's funny how those situations, it's just about like kind of who breaks first, who actually mans down. And of course, it's going to be the double damage. That's the difference maker. Zai, as you said, just trying to soak what he can. What do you think about this build? I've seen a lot of Clockworks going only like 2 levels of Battery Assault and higher levels of Rocket Flare. In fact, maxing that first usually.
It depends what your job is in the game. If you're having a really good game, I think the Battery Assault probably still is the go-to build for the solo kill potential. But if you look at this game, it's not really likely that Zai can stay on top of targets very long. Puck will get away, Abaddon will get away. You're going to dive by a 4-step on the Drow Ranger. Oh, nice phase shift there coming in from Ori.
Yeah.
So what I think he's going to do, he might do that 2-1-4 build in this game specifically to push lanes, right?
Yep.
Push out waves, you find more farm as well with Clockwork that way. It will help you scale a bit better in the mid game.
I've seen these Clockworks do this quite a lot. The whole just like his mid laner hits him up. Hey, he's about to pop a healing salve, and you just throw a Rocket Flare over there. The surprise damage catches them off guard and could change the trajectory of how that mid lane matchup goes. Eurus going to be chased here by Matumbaman with the extra frost shield to be able to slow him down. They're going to turn a multi-shot Matumbaman, but he's tanky enough. He's going to be able to survive through this, and with the helping hand of Yapsor, they're going to be able to get the kill on the carry. Trading away their support, though. DY helps to get a little damage onto Yapsor. Vici Gaming a little bit more limited, just the fact that they do have 2 melee supports with no clear stun between the 2 of them.
And now with this little bit of a switch up, the Abaddon versus Clockwork lane, you're feeling very happy as Abaddon in that, especially with the head start that you've got. You're 18-8 against an 8-1 Clockwork. You're going to just get those 4 hits in. Clock can't fight you at all, especially if you don't max Battery Assault. How are you ever supposed to stand a chance in this lane? Yang with a full level advantage right now and a little bit extra.
And the Monkey King lane is a lot different once he hits that 2nd level of Jingo Mastery, right?
Yeah.
It's a big difference in damage and lifesteal. So against these melee heroes, he's going to fare a little bit better. As you can see, DY forced back.
I love this from Eurus. Very rare to see a Gust skilled this early. I'm a huge fan of this spell in lane against these kind of lineups. You have 3 melee heroes on Secret's lineup that kind of want to come in close. You're covering yourself very well. It's kind of identifying, okay, we're not in this lane to kill heroes. We want to farm and stay afloat. And we know that if Monkey King doesn't snowball out of control, we'll get him later.
Battle over the bounty runes. Matamba Man, he's going to cheat a little bit. He's going to be able to hop down from the trees and join his supports, making it a 2v3, going the way of Secret.
Okay, I got to work something. That was no good.
Some of the voice lines in the game always. It's like you could play this game for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours, and there's still some voice lines that you feel like you've never heard before.
Yeah, sometimes you just get like a hero-ally combination that you haven't heard in a while, and all of a sudden some voice line sneaks in.
Monkey King's great. Oh, great hero.
2
So
to
what was
2.
the rune trade? Was it 2 for 2?
I think so. So we had Eurus managed
Yeah.
to get the one on the left, and then Yang obviously getting one at the bottom lane. We are going to max out battery assault for Zai here. Maybe because of that one matchup, but with Yang already having his level 6, certainly not going to be getting a solo kill in that lane anytime soon. 6-minute runes are coming up. Ori would like to make his rotation, but YapzOr, he has been constantly around this mid lane, throwing fissures, denying runes.
Yeah, I think that's something that YapzOr does exceptionally well. Is I think a lot of players lately, or in the last year, have kind of transitioned a lot more into stable laning as position 4 to get those levels. YapzOr is very good at rune control, and it makes a big difference in these killer matchups.
Oh, the waiting rift forward or backwards,
Nicely
but the
timed.
stun lasts too long. YapzOr, once again, proving to be very impactful in this mid lane. And he doesn't really need to help on his side lanes too much, because this is, part of the YapzOr-Zai relationship is that Zai is willing to take a little bit more of a step back in the laning phase sometimes.
And he's gone for a very defensive build. Oh, well, aggressive. Depends how you look at it with the 2 bracers. DY. Puppey's going to pull in Euros to make sure that they get the Jingu stacks off against Gust.
Bounty strike.
That was a great decision. Good counterplay, though.
This is a really sick one if they can actually bring down both these heroes. The Monkey King is trying to get away from the puck, but just won't be able to do so. The multi-shot comes out to slow down Puppey as well. A double kill for Eurus.
Perfect timing on Ori's respawn to be able to connect on that play. PYW will die in mid lane. Zai coming in with a hook shot, showing off that fresh level 6. This is the one hero in the game he's really good against right now. And arguably Treant can be struggling against Clockwork as well. So we were talking about maybe the 2-1-4 build with the perspective of the heroes he doesn't do particularly well against. But if you play to your strengths, you can definitely max battery assault. It's still, I still say it's the default build, but the other one has been picked up sometimes. I mean, we're talking about it like this hero ever gets picked, lol. But,
Yeah, I was quite surprised when he was trending at this tournament. He's been picked, probably 4 or 5 times. Not a massive amount, but...
For Clockwork, that's an infinite % increase in pick rate. So that's great.
Certainly.
It's cool to see. Love the hero.
Another change up in the build, and this one we're actually going to see in the game. The Arc Wardens, who are playing much more like a mid-game hero with this maxed out Wraithband, Treads build, not going for the Hand of Midas and Boots of Travel of old. This is a Arc Warden that is very scary at about 20 minutes.
Yeah, even earlier, just having high level and you have 2 fluxes, you have all the Spark Wraiths and fights, and then you have all these stats to just right-click with. I feel like for this meta, this is how you should play this hero almost every game. Just get involved, fight. You're even decent at taking towers because you kind of have a built-in DD rune whenever you use your ult. So,
trying to catch Ori once again. He does have an orb up, but it's not going to be there fast enough. Yang not there to save the day, and is going to be forced back. Still holding on to a point of his ultimate, just in case he can pop it at a better time.
YapzOr has been on point this game. He's basically played, there is no such thing as the perfect game, but it's pretty close what he's done so far. He's found multiple kills on the puck. He's assisted his top lane. He is rune controlled. Don't think he's missed a single spell at all. It's all just been perfect pretty much from him. So really good stuff. That's what you want to see out of him if you're a Secret fan. And of course, when he plays that Shaker, he feels very comfortable. One of his absolute all-time bests.
And it helps the fact that Vici Gaming have two supports that really don't have the same kind of roaming impact.
Yeah.
Nor can they really directly threaten the Earthshaker too much. So he's just kind of been free to move around. Secret simultaneously are having fine lanes. The Monkey King is top net worth right now, and Zai is still getting the levels he needs, even if he's a little bit lower on net worth, as you said. It's really the experience that matters.
Yep. Something that's kind of nice about this Clockwork hero is if you have a lane that you just need somebody parked in, Clockwork is one of the better heroes at just sitting there. He's naturally tanky. He has an escape tool in the hookshot if he needs to. He has cogs. He's super good to TP in to turn around for. If he doesn't die in an instant burst, he has so much turnaround potential once cooldowns are used. And on top of that, guess what? If there's a play on the other side of the map, you're one of the fastest connectors. You TP, you have that massive range hookshot to join fights while still defending that safe lane tower. I think this is something in this tournament that teams have not been doing well enough, is defending their safe lane tower. A lot of the teams have kind of been giving it up, you know. To me, it's a thing of old. You should defend every tower you can nowadays. And yeah, it's something that a team like Secret will definitely put emphasis on, holding all their towers as much as possible.
Yeah, I really agree with that. The safe lane tower feels particularly impactful now. Hold up, Eurus gonna be in trouble here as Creep Wave does approach, help saving him from that flux damage. And with the TP should be fine. PYW is gonna come back in, but with the Tempest double still up, my friend, you can't really challenge Nisha. Again, the 4 Wraithband build plus the treads is very dangerous. Matumman actually getting a kill on Ori there in that top lane engagement. Yaps are not even having to use the Echo Slam, so it looks like they got that kill relatively for free.
Now that the siege creep waves are out, the shrines, or the outposts, sorry, have already been taken. We're going to see some aggressive movement here from Vici Gaming. They bring down Treant to join Yang in trying to take this tier 1 tower. Zai is doing what he can. He's not getting too much help right now. I think Puppey might have TP on cooldown after getting engaged on by the Puck up top.
Yeah, he's booking it right now. And might be there in time for the last remnants of the tower. No, it doesn't look like he's given up on it. In the meantime, Secret do get a decent little pressure on mid lane, but the real scary part is Vici Gaming have a tower advantage over you, and they do have that tree and protector, and that's just going to build.
And they're not going to give up this top tower. I'm pretty certain that they will reinforce this. There's already a TP now from Treant. One of the biggest benefits of this hero, outside of the fact that he has living armor for the tree, he's really good for the tower. He's really good just pushing out waves safely. You just press Q, hide in trees.
I think we saw like Liquid use him really effectively with Taiga, like every single time.
Yeah.
He picks up a Meteor Hammer and he's just planted in whatever lane the team doesn't want to play in, and he'll stop pushes, he'll defend towers nonstop, and then he can still rotate in. Zai, as you said, trying to do that, but unfortunately got a little overwhelmed by a Drow Ranger push with an Abaddon. You see our Earthshaker right now very close to that Blink Dagger, and that's part of the reason Secret's probably bleeding out. A little bit of objectives here is just because their timing is going to come with that big initiating tool. Ori, meanwhile, is going to be able to find long-range initiation onto the Monkey King. They're going to make sure he does get off Wukong's command. And PYW fully commits there, using the Doom as well, just to make sure. But a hook shot now light between the two of them with a Chain Frost. Oh no, it bounced over to the puck. It doesn't matter though. They've got more than enough damage thanks to Nisha and his Tempest double Arc Ward.
There's that Clockwork factor. If you fight a team next to their tower, it's so easy for him to connect. It almost feels like Disruptor in that way that, sure, you got a kill, but can you get back out? The reach is just insane. Yaps are perfect position here on the Shaker.
He's going to be able to help Ori out. Ori, really smart positioning with all of those spells. We'll see whether or not they can turn this around as Zai is going to be chased down. Puppey, he's going to go down to Ori. Meanwhile, the Clockwork is kind of stuck. Zai is going to be saved by Fisher, slowed down a little bit. That last couple of shots does land on him, and PYW's on the other side. Slowing down Ori, and the rest of the crew will try and take down Nisha's Tempest double for the extra gold. And all around a good turn by Vici Gaming. Ori, especially smart, that Waning Rift onto the Lich to make sure he can't get Sinister Gazed.
And in that whole fight, until the end, DY was level 5, minute 12:30, which is pretty unusual this patch. Usually teams make sure that whichever support is struggling the most gets the tome and the other one takes a lane, but he had a bit of catching up to do. Fortunately for him, that fight helped out a lot. He's now close to level 7. It's a really nice level to hit for the Treant. You get them maxed out. Nature's Grasp, most likely. Just sit there in that wave, push it out safely. that bit more effectively. And yeah, Vici Gaming with a very quick turnaround. And this puck hero has been so good for the teams that really use it well. It like feels broken when you watch it sometimes, but it really is just, it's a communication hero in my opinion. It's so much about understanding how to rotate for each other as a team, because most of the time Puck's like ability to solo kill isn't nearly what it was before with the other attack damage talent.
Eurus in trouble, surrounded by the Wukong's command, a Clockwork on his way. Good silence, but at the end of the day, he can't get out of that Wukong's command. Not with the Echo Saber, it's too strong. Oh, Sinister Gaze instantly put onto Ori. He's gonna have to try and run away with the Flux still on him, and the Spark Wraith on its way. Chain Frost as well. Phase Shift just won't come up in time. Another great kill. PYW back over the bottom lane. Secret is everywhere right now. They're gonna be able to claim him. Yang, much harder kill to pick up, but they're still going to try for it as Zai bounces back with the cogs. Finally, the ultimate is going to be forced. They're going to try and stick with him a little bit, just slowing him down. DY's here, though, with Brambles, the Overgrowth. They're going to slow down these heroes underneath the tower. Their turnaround onto Zai will be successful. They get that kill, but DY has to get away from Matumba Man, whose lifesteal is allowing him to survive through with the Boundless Strike, healing him up a little bit more. He claims the kill onto DY, but hit by a multi-shot just in time. A jump away is not up. Yang does manage to get him with the missed coil. And a killing spree going the way of Yang for that as well.
I like this Dota. There's a lot of a lot of really good individual plays, tons of kills. Maybe Secret slightly over-aggressive there, choosing to try to go for the Abaddon in the tower after he got off the ulti. Just any rotation in there would have made their life hard, and that's exactly what happened with the Treant TPing first and then the Drow on the outpost. Kind of just overwhelming them there in the end. And that's a big kill for Eurus to get as well. Matumba Man is top net worth. A lot of benefit for Vici in that engagement.
Yeah, that's particularly scary because that's their two teamfight heroes at the top of the net worth. It's so hard to fight into that Maelstrom Arc Warden, who has it now, and then that Echo Saber Monkey King as well. Vici Gaming, they're gonna have a hard time pushing towers, that's for sure. But we'll see as they all push into mid lane. And Secret, they may be not ready to contest this. They are going to get the Fissure onto Ori, but they're still stuck underneath the coil. They're going to be able to get the Doom onto the real Arc Warden here. Yang pursuing, trying to chase him down with a multi-shot going out as well. The Chain Frost a little off the mark, but Yang committing and does manage to bring down Nisha. At the end, they had Matumba Man up at that top lane. They didn't bring enough heroes to this fight. Now Secret's gonna probably lose it here with the Overgrowth. Locked onto 2, locking onto that Clockwork. But DY at the same time, a little bit of turnaround by Yapster trying to kill him. Ori stopping that Sinister Gaze with a silent multi-shot and a missed coil. Takes down Puppey as well. Vici Gaming swarming into that mid lane. Matumba Man finally showing up with the X-Slam onto 2. Can they win this engagement against superior numbers? Eurus going for a fade TP out, but the Fissure stops him. Only 1 kill though, the rest of Vici Gaming low, but still alive.
And they did get the tower, so I think you're very happy with that if you're Vici with the trade you got. You took so much advantage of Monkey King not being there and just they played very confidently and aggressively there knowing he couldn't connect. And well, I did say before, Puck doesn't have the best solo kill potential anymore without the level 10 damage talent, but you know what will help is Laser Stick. That extra 400 magic damage will certainly allow him to maybe burst a hero like Lich on his own.
Yeah.
Without needing so much help, or just be that extra little bit of damage needed to take down Nisha. Love this play from Secret though.
It's so cool to me how Secret always bounces back from maybe a fight that they lose or something like that, but they always read timings and say, okay, they're out of position or they don't have certain ultimates. We can take a big objective like a mid tower, like a Roshan here. Now with Nisha having an Aegis, these team fights are gonna get real difficult for Vici Gaming. Can they do it again? Can they outposition Secret one more time?
Oh, that's a good item to find on Arc Warden. You love that one. Attack range and minus magic resistance. Perfect for that hero.
Oh, hookshot. Locking down DY, as you said, one of the better heroes against Stream Protector, as you do have a physical area to hold him in. You can't just walk away in those trees, so good pick.
It's a big item on the way for Drow here, almost completing the Hurricane Pike. Multiple purposes in this game. I think you need 2 or 3 Force Staffs on Vici Gaming's lineup, honestly. You're playing against Monkey King ulti, you're playing against Clockwork, and you're playing against Fissure. You need to be able to reposition your entire lineup most of the time, so The other item that works is obviously BKB. This one on the way for Doom. Oh, being built. If it was on the way, they would be in a really good spot.
Good run into Zai here, instantly dooming him, dagging a little bit extra damage to make sure he dies. They're also going to try and catch this backline. YapzOr does break the coil to try and run away. Does also have that Shadow Amulet to be able to protect him. They didn't realize where he went. He got around the tree, so they thought he actually escaped away. Nice hold there from the Overgrowth to make sure that Puppey dies, and they caught the Monkey King. What a disaster that would have been if they don't catch those extra heroes. Sweet juke by YapzOr, though. Really sick.
Yeah, usually you would see at least the fade time on the Shadow Amulet, and that would kind of give it away. But I think he started fading in the fog, or they didn't notice. And I'm sure we're going to see it on the replay right here.
Just that one tree that he's able to get around.
Oh, they did see the fade.
A little bit of fade, but they must have assumed that he broke it right away and ran into the trees instead of just chilling there.
Yeah, they might have thought he got a little bit further with that orb cast, but he couldn't. He just stopped in his tracks, right? That's what you usually do with Shadow Amulet. You walk a little bit. They didn't have any detection on them, I think, so the orb wouldn't have killed him regardless, but, you know, it looks cooler. It's always nice. Style points.
Zai also survived from that Doom Dagon, just not enough damage. But I do appreciate that Vici Gaming kind of identified, okay, that hero's out of the fight, let's try and catch another and another. And maybe they didn't catch YapzOr, but in the end, they got Matamba Man a much bigger bounty, as he is the top net worth hero.
Kind of surprised he chose to stick around. You've got a Doom Clockwork running out of the fight, and you have your Shaker on like a beat stick of health. That fight was kind of over. Maybe they were hoping for some heroic turnaround with Echo Slam and everything, but, or rather, he wasn't expecting to be found.
That kind of smoke rotation is perfect to set up an advantage for the outposts and bounties. They already control both, but on top of that, the Monkey King will be dead as that crucial timer comes up, so.
You have to concede this is secret. Don't try to fight for them. You're not winning.
Well,
okay.
Zai, he doesn't agree with you, Sin, and we'll see if he pays for it. Anybody gonna stop him? Nobody from Vici Gaming is gonna choose to take that.
Okay, I think a simple Doom running in with an Infernal Blade might have stopped that. They were probably scared of how much it was going to cost them. I think losing one support for this outpost might be. But it's a Doom. Like, Doom could have stopped that 100%. Like,
Doom could have stopped that. They also could have gotten the River Bounty. You know, like, there's no Monkey King. Who's going to...
Showing a lot of respect there. I'm surprised that Secret got to take that one, but obviously Drow wasn't in the neighborhood. Maybe they felt like this 4-on-4 is going to be too difficult. It's too high risk. Vici has historically been a pretty stable team. Like if there's a high risk, high reward, or a low risk, low reward play, they will generally take the secondary one in these mid game situations. They have become a more aggressive team as of late, of course, but still, it's, that's a hard learned skill.
Yes.
The cost benefit of Dota is very difficult to get right every time.
I think the one part where sometimes they don't go for the low risk reward is the option of trying to save each other.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like Vici Gaming, you know, when they have messy games, they get into that save a friend syndrome where one pick off turns into 2 or 3 because they're always trying to bail each other out. But that same kind of concept is what makes them so good at team fighting often.
When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. It will generally look either amazing or terrible when you do that stuff. It is one of those things that just flat out throws games where you're in a good position, but it can also be the true way of winning, like playing around these borderline clutch saves where all cooldowns are expended.
What do you think about this build from DY? Opting for a sustained build is building into mech and team fight items rather than the Meteor Hammer that we see to focus on split pushing.
I think we were talking about, oh, wait a second.
Echo Slam leading off. They have the Balance Strike to follow it up as well. Just so much chain stun that Ori doesn't stand a chance.
He would have actually lived if that Monkey King stun didn't clip the Treant. I think the Overgrowth would have saved him there.
Yeah.
That was really close. And they didn't even know. Like, that was super close to working out. Speak of saving a friend, that would have been one of the clutch moments, but he was nearby, but that connected just the way they needed it to.
Puck down for 30 seconds. They're gonna try and take this mid-tier 2. Yang on the front lines, taking all this damage. Still has his ultimate and the rest of his boys to join him. They just want to be able to push Secret. It doesn't matter how much damage this tier 2 takes as long as it doesn't die, because then DY can heal it back up. And sure enough, they are able to push Secret back.
Oh, Puppey's in trouble. They saw him on a sentry ward.
Yeah,
he has decent move speed.
Oh.
That'll save you.
Nice.
Blocked
Mission
him off. So, yeah, to answer your question about the mech, we were talking about how we think Vici Gaming should buy Pipe and maybe Crimson as well. They have the Pipe on the Abaddon. You're getting these Greaves probably completed on the Treant, and Doom did not go for a Crimson, so they're not getting it at all. They're getting the other auras. It just seems like a very solid approach. You're playing against Monkey King and Arc Warden. There's so much AoE damage just being dealt constantly. Get anything that mitigates and keeps your team afloat. It's also a hard game to use Meteor Hammer in, I feel like. Like there's so many random things that can hit you while you're channeling it. You can get Fissure, Clockwork, First Spell, Monkey King Stun.
And maybe not the best game for you to try and split push, with Clockwork being so effective at catching you, with Monkey King potentially being able to do the same.
Absolutely.
And it really leads into our original idea of this game for Vici Gaming. Hit that mid-game hard. You just have to run them over about 30 minutes, get that second Roshan, take a high ground.
Yeah, I personally find this Meteor Hammer to be a little bit overrated on Treant. I think a lot of people buy it just every game because it feels good, right? You're in the trees, you can get that clutch stun, but just as many times it's like, if you either get caught by anything or if you're not in the perfect position or the enemy team is spread out nicely, it can feel like a very low impact item for its cost. Like you could have had an aura, you could have had a repositioning item like Dagger or Force Staff for your team. So it's, high risk, high reward item. Well, guess what?
Well, Vici Gaming, they're not about that
Take
life.
the mech, yeah. I'm just happy to see it because I feel like that item build gets autopiloted way too much on this hero. I
really thought PYW was going to go for the Blink, then Centaur stun build, but opting for the BKB.
Somebody's got to go in front and get in. They have Yang though, who could take that upon himself, but maybe they feel like, okay, if we have two fat boys in front, then Drow has a lot of a buffer. And if PYW, the good thing about BKB here is if you can get in and Doom either Arc Warden, Monkey King, or I would say the Shaker, if you can just flat out run in, start the fight, and threaten, the enemy team can't really just run away when they're facing Treant Puck, right? If the fight just breaks out and you go in, if you do it with a Dagger, you can get counterplayed and killed. If you do it with BKB here, you're not going to die, right, while it's running. So I think he will get Dagger regardless, probably as his next item, but
it's a little bit of like a Slardar sort of concept. You just want to get on top of somebody with the BKB, ensure that you can stay on top of them.
Yep. Oh, that's a good item.
Oh, that's not too shabby for Drow Ranger.
So correct me if I'm wrong, multi-shot cannot proc any orbs, right?
Right.
At all. Okay. That would be sick if it put orb. Don't get any ideas, Ice Frog. I know you're watching.
16-15, a 3,000 net worth lead for Vici Gaming, but its Secret seemed to have a little bit more control of the map, or maybe that's just because Zai is pretty far forward here, and he may be very tanky, but not much you can do with the Doom. Looks like bottom lane, they also found yours at the same time, so Secret will take that exchange, I'm sure. An offlaner for the safe lane of Vici Gaming.
Especially considering what was expended, right? You used Doom and Coil.
Yeah.
And the Drow was kind of just a free pick. They didn't use anything. Nothing major, at least.
Full mobility for Yapsor. The Blink Dagger first, Shadowblade and Spider Legs. Anything to make sure that he can get into that back line, catch that puck or that Drow Ranger at the start of a fight. Oh, telescope for a Drow Ranger team.
Not bad. Attack range, pretty good on Drow last I checked. How much attack range does Drow have? So Drow has 765 before telescope. How much does that give us again?
I think it's like 125, 150?
150. That's long range. That's close to what Sniper would have with max taking. So.
But at the end of the day, he still has a problem with that magnetic field, with that bubble from the Arc Warden.
He will need MKB eventually.
Yeah.
At least the matchup has changed quite a bit in Drow's favor compared to before because you have multi-shot, right? In the past, you were just like completely hard countered. All you had was your ranged right clicks with Precision Aura instead, and you had to get that MKB. It seems like other things are possible. Puppey in the right place at the right time. Helps when you're just AFK in there. Eventually it'll spawn, right?
We'll see if DY. He's going to cut down a tree, see if he can get some vision, throws the brambles into the pit. But they need some actual vision of Roshan. That's where Ori's going to come into play. Gets his orb inside of there, but Roshan's so low, they're not going to be able to get inside in time. especially with Zai blocking off that pathway. So Vici Gaming now gonna have to play against an Aegis and Cheese. Seems like they're very relaxed about this. Maybe they view that their late game will actually be a bit stronger than we're giving credit for. I mean, Draw Ranger lineups late game are actually always kind of crazy and super dangerous, but they also have like this 4-position Doom that's very clearly trying to turn into a core.
Yeah, the thing you don't have though, you don't really have any other right-click hero that truly benefits from Drow's ulti, right?
Yeah.
Puck, it's okay, but it's not your Shadow Fiend or Viper or whatever later on.
Puck has been disappointing late game ever since the 90 damage talent at level 15. Ever since that went away. And is now just a 30 damage, which many people don't even take, because now it's better to go for the magic damage build rather than a right-click build. Ori, spotting the Monkey King, Matuma Man actually jumping down, does have an Aegis as well as a BKB, so Vici Gaming may not commit fully to this one. An overgrowth that only lands on the Lich as the Glimmer Cape protects him. Into the back line, Eurus already being found by the Zai Clockwork, and the turnaround here is Matuma Man activating his BKB. He's already taken out Ori on the side. PYW does manage to find the real Arc Warden, but it doesn't matter with so many heroes here, unless Eurus can lend a hand here. PYW continuing to chase with the help of DY as well, but the BKB is going to wear out eventually, and that's where Yapstor instantly hits him with the stun, and that is enough to allow Nisha to disengage. In fact, he wants to go back, and he knows Vici Gaming's on the back foot. Yang will be an inevitable victim to this Clockwork, who locks him inside the cogs. 3 dead on the side of Vici Gaming, and I believe they kept their Aegis intact. They didn't lose a single hero.
Yeah, they also kept their cheese. They lost absolutely nothing there, Secret. Vici Gaming kind of caught in this weird limbo where they're somewhat forced to fight. If they try to back off, they're going to get caught by all this chasing potential of Monkey King and Shaker. So they do stand their ground and fight, but they wasted an overgrowth, right? Like, you start the fight overgrowthing. He knows it doesn't hit Invis heroes, hopefully. Missing that mark there on the Monkey King. He gets the Lich, only they didn't get anything out of it. Oh, Zai even finds a stray Treant in the top half, trying to take out the outpost.
His team doesn't need him for this push, so he goes, defends the outpost. After all, Secret's gonna play this patiently. They're not gonna try and force the high ground, especially against a Dro Treant Protector lineup. Unless you could take the tier 3, it's not even worth touching it. At this point, Secret looked to be in a pretty comfortable lead. And almost getting caught out here. In fact, Will, he activates the BKB, Boundless Strength, the 2 of them. He still has that Aegis as well, so Team Secret could try and make their way over here, as Nisha does. The BKB expended by PYW makes things even. Now a gem for the Treant Protector. It seems like they feel the need to get any kind of map control they can get at this point. Is pick off on Puppey, gets the Dro Ranger to level 20, so there's a decent power spike, the plus 35% multi-shot damage.
I'm curious what's going to happen in this game once BKB start dropping lower. So Monkey King is down to 8 seconds. Is anybody else on Secret even going to buy one? I'm not sure. So far, it doesn't seem like it.
Top of the man, the Wukong's man, going to be able to surround the Doom. The Yapstra followed up, keeping him chain stunned, basically. That's going to be killed right off the bat. Now, Yang, he's going to be fine, at least initially, but they can certainly chase for quite some time. Vici Gaming thought they were going to go for TPs in. Instead, they go for TPs out, perhaps just leaving Yang behind. Pops his ultimate, but he has a long ways to go, sadly. And Matuma Man has infinite chase. So unless he can somehow juke through the trees, which seems unlikely, especially with Zai the other side of things, then he will fall as well. 2 down.
Of all things, the power cog's got the key.
Eurus. Money too. Eurus in trouble. Echo Slam just to seal the deal. 2 becomes 3, and all of a sudden Vici Gaming's base is looking very exposed.
Yeah, they kind of missed. They had this mid-game timing that their lineup really wanted to hit, and Secret just played super well around, especially the Monkey King, as well as the Clockwork, I want to say, just making so much space in fights. The longer they draw out, the harder it gets for Vici Gaming. When the BKBs are expended, eventually you're going to struggle against Shaker stuns, Arc Warden. And well, there's some range right there.
These long-range stuns are such a great way to start fight. Fisher plus Boundless Strike. I always found that to be such an obnoxious duo to play against. Your traditional positioning for fights is a little bit ruined by those two leading stuns. And one lane of Barracks turns to two as Vici Gaming are not going to buy back on the Drow Ranger. After all, they don't have a Dream Protector, and they pretty much need everybody to successfully defend. Aghanim Scepter for Clockwork, so now he can really stay on top of that Drow Ranger. Hookshot is not just going to be defeated by that Hurricane Pike. Oh, they do manage to grab PYW inside the cogs with the Wukong's manned out, but does manage to get out of there with his BKB to safety. Ying gonna have to be careful there as the Silver Edge on the Arc Warded means that his automatic trigger of Borrow Time can't be disabled.
Yeah, do they have any silence to do the full combo? I don't think they do yet. No silences. Eventually a Bloodthorn is obviously a possibility, or a Hex.
Yep.
Oh, a silence.
I like that. I'm thinking about a Blink Dagger. Just any kind of mobility he can to make the best use of the double hook shots and double cogs. It's going to be really tough for this Drow Ranger to always try and extricate herself from these team fights. 400 Fisher range just for that extra little bit of poke and prod that Secret's lineup has against a Vici Gaming lineup that really needs to commit to a team fight.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Butterfly trying to be built by Eurus, but it's a long ways away, and with the 14,000 net worth lead and only one lane of barracks to go, it looks like Team Secret, they're feeling it right now. They are just marching down the top lane, the full 5-man. Wonder if they're actually going to try and commit to a push at all or wait till they get a pick off. There's no rush for this team after all.
Yeah, they can take it easy. The next Aegis will be in half a minute to 3.5 minutes. So you can control the map until then, get that huge advantage. If you get Aegis Cheese Refresher or Aghanims, you should be able to close out this game. So
from your perspective, is that Roshan kind of the last hill that Vici Gaming has to try and defend? Do they have to go for that steal?
I think they're going to go and fight that, and if they lose, they're going to GG out.
Yeah.
And because if you don't, like you're kind of just waiting to lose, right? I don't think there's anything, any saving grace for their lineup defensively where, wow, Secret's suddenly just going to lose a fight. They can just put 2 magnetic fields down, start hitting the tower with an Arc Warden with Aegis. I mean, you got to do something, right?
Yeah, so maybe if you had MKB or if you had all 3 lanes of barracks still up, you could play for high ground defenses. After all, drone lineups are really good at that. Yeah. But with only 1 lane of barracks and this much of an advantage, Secret, as soon as they get close to your base, it's going to be there in the back of your head. They could just full commit, take Megas, even if they die. You'll be at too much of a disadvantage to be able to fight back any further. Rocket Flare damage for Zai as his levels have been going swimmingly.
This is by the way, an awesome neutral item in Clockwork. We haven't really talked about the Craggy Coat, but it's one of the best strength offlaners to get this on just because of how little he relies on his right clicks. Now he did go for the Aghanims, so then you can attack a bit more, but it's not really the purpose of it regardless.
Especially against something like the Drow Ranger, who, traditionally you get on top of her, she's not much of a threat, but with the multi-shot, it's actually a little scary. Here, you can take up that damage thanks to pretty much a free plate mail that you got out of the neutral items. Nisha is going to send his Tempest double here forward, taking away the vision of Vici Gaming. Vici Gaming do not want to let go of this high ground. This high ground is how they control Roshan, but it's coming at a bit of a cost, already a bit low on some of their heroes. Fortunately, Vlad's and neutral creeps will allow them to heal back up. Roshan is now a go. Team Secret.
Yours is close to it. Almost has the rapier. I honestly don't think it's the right item. I think MKB might almost be. I mean, for the sake of multi-shot, maybe it's just a Hail Mary play.
I mean, you did kind of say if you lose this Roshan fight, the game's over, right?
Yeah.
And if you buy MKB, then you want to have buyback ult.
Yeah, I mean, I'm strictly talking MKB against Rapier. Oh, yeah, Rapier
okay.
has True Strike. I'm being stupid.
Yeah.
It's the new Rapier. Hey, yo, 2020, Rapier has True Strike. Okay, it's definitely the right item. I take everything I just said
To be fair,
back.
Synderen, how long have you
Absolutely.
played Dota? Like close to 20 years now?
I started last week.
Well, you can tell, but
Yeah, okay. Yeah, now that it does have True Strike, it's the best. Because now it really is the way to go then. Because you needed a True Strike item more than anything, and you are in the position where you're all in. So 100% the right thing to do. And, well, you're all in. The Roche is happening.
the worst part is Secret, they don't have to do this, Roshan. They could, smoke up, wrap around on you or something. Vici Gaming, their ideal fight would be Secret committing to the Roche and intercepting them halfway through doing it. But instead, Secret are going to go for that smoke play. They're not going to play on the low ground. They're not going to play on the pit. They're going to try and take that high ground that Vici Gaming was playing on away from them, or at least neutralize it by being on the high ground themselves. Vici Gaming actually pushing away from this area, and if anything, if they get too far away from their base, Secret could poke at it, force Vici Gaming back, or maybe get a pick off here on Ori, who's trying to push out that top lane, but the hook shot is there to make sure he stays stunned, and is now dead for 80 seconds, no buyback.
That's a big one. That's the control that they need to allow Drow to just hit into heroes the whole fight. He was not expecting that Secret would be up there. Thought they would be playing around the Roshan pit and staying tight, but they had a really good read that going up there would maybe get them a kill, or at least force a rotation back onto that tower. And now they don't even have to fight for it.
Nope.
Well, there you go. How easy is that?
You said the control from Puck is all important, and Vici Gaming agree with you. That's why they're going to play the high ground, wait till he's back up. Does mean Aegis Cheese and an Aghanim's Blessing, so we can do the Rune Forge. This early on to the game, if the game does stall out, plenty of bounty runes for you, but even something simple as spawning a double damage, it's a great way to break the base.
Yep. What did he spawn the first time?
I didn't see it.
Oh,
Bounty rune, very first try.
Well, okay.
But Tubman leading the way, just spawning some of those statues, making it a little bit harder for Vici Gaming. There's the first round of multi-shots, so you get an idea of what kind of damage that does. An aggressive force staff, now a defensive one. Does manage to get Tubman back out. They need to be able to bring down his agents without serious commitment. They do manage to get the Doom onto the Arc Warren, but at the same time, Zai in and out with a refresher from the Aghanim Scepter. Now Tubman on second life gets off the Wukong's command. Surrounding PYW, they have the coil on the back lines, but nobody can really get there. And Eurus, he's a little bit low. Hit by the Echo Slam, does manage to get off his BKB, but now he's been bashed up. The overgrowth is going to be able to buy him time here. Eurus trying to fight during his BKB. He needs that damage because nobody else can really deliver it. As you can see, Nisha, Ori's trying to get that kill on a Yapsor, can't quite do it. Yang drops low, a Phonic Shield just in time. Tempest Double is not going to be able to take down Yang, but the Megas are going to be coming soon if Vici Gaming can't find a way to push back Nisha and Matabaman. All of them healing up right now, but that's just it. Vici Gaming not even going to try for another fight, even with Divine Rapier still in hands. They know it's all over. It's all Secret for game one.
Really felt like Secret had superior map movements. They took some really, really good fights. It was very close for a long time, and then they suddenly just exploded from 2 good fights in a row, getting both Roshans, actually 3 Roshans.
Yep.
It's something Vici Gaming have to step up on. It's difficult as the Dire if the Radiant start taking control of the active jungle or the aggressive top jungle area, and Vici might have had to try to flush them out to compete. If you give Secret 3 Roshes in any game, they're gonna win 99% of the time. And well, this time around they wanted to fight for the 3rd one. Ori got caught out, they never even got to try, so.
They also look really scary with their Arc Warden. I don't know, Nisha just makes it look so strong. It's so hard to fight in the mid game, and he doesn't really seem to lose his lane too often because there's always Yapsor there to give him the extra help. Secret seem to have found a very winning formula against Vici Gaming, taking this game 1 pretty handedly, but we'll see. Vici Gaming, they're no slouches. We'll come back in game 2, see what happens.